This is your Daily 5 for Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. One of the movies that Lando and I watched to do a commentary on this week is a 2025 film titled Obex. Now, this movie I really didn't know much about. I happened to see the poster art for it, which looked really interesting. I saw that it had a mix of reviews. It actually has a generally favorable review rating right now, but there's a lot of love it or hate it in there, which is always a spider sense tingler for me. And I read what the idea of it was, and I thought this is interesting because this is another case of a writer, director, star. And those can go a lot of different ways, but generally they're not boring. So I figured, okay, let's watch this. It's relatively short. And I was just kind of curious about it because, again, I'd never heard of it. It sounded interesting and unique. And again, when you have the writer, director, star combo, there's always potential for magic to happen. And so we watched the movie, and overall, the movie is very, very singular in the story, in the presentation, in the just general approach to it. It reminds me, and this is going to sound like a criticism to some degree, but it's really not. Or this might make you think in a certain direction, and don't yet. But it reminds me of a creator named Don Dohler, who made Night Beast and made a movie called Fiend, which I reviewed a while ago. And now Don Dohler's movies are not very good, but they have this really interesting, specific, personal feeling to them. I don't know how else to describe it, where there's this very, again, it's a unique kind of feel to what the movies are. And Obex has that same thing. Now, Obex is a well-made, and I actually think quite a good film. It's set in 1987, I want to say. I think it's 87. And it's about an individual who makes, for want of a better term, ASCII art printouts for people. So you send him a picture, and he creates because remember, 87 computer-wise, he's got a dot matrix printer and it looks like I don't know which Mac it is, but a little Macintosh some kind. It might be an Apple II. And he basically creates art with the keyboard by spacing characters out to make a simulation of a photo in a printout. And he sells these and sends them to people. And this individual sees a video game that looks interesting that he wants to play and purchases the game, and things happen as a result. That's keeping it as spoiler-free as possible. And it's a black and white. It makes a very, very interesting use of sound. So the sound design is one of actually, I think, the key features of the movie. It's very, very low budget. It's described as microbudget. And I think much of that budget was put into a specific portion of the film. I think that's smart. That is going to put off some people because, this isn't really spoiling anything, but the first half is fairly light on effects. It's a lot of setup. Might be too slow for some people. But some of the effects when they're used, there's one effect in particular, and I don't want to say anything about it because it might be considered a spoiler. It's really well done. We'll talk about it on Friday. It's a really well done effect. And there's some effects that aren't as well done. There's some effects where you're going to see the limits of the budget. That's okay. But overall, really, really enjoyable and interesting movie. Because much like the Don Dohler films, I feel like I have a bit of a window into the creator through it. It feels very personal. It feels very singular, made with a specific intention. And I think it's done very well. It might be a little slow to a degree for some people. It might be too simple for other people because, again, this is micro budget, so it's a small scope film. But I think it's one worth seeing. And I don't know really, again, it sounds like I'm saying conflicting things. I'm really not here. And we'll talk about it on Friday because to some degree we have to get into spoilers to describe more. But if look the movie up. Just look at it superficially. Look at the poster, look at the general synopsis, and maybe read a couple of spoiler-free reviews that are maybe better than mine because people go into much more detail or people talk and can explain things far better than I can. And if it looks at all interesting, I don't know if there's a trailer even. If there's a trailer, watch it. If it looks at all interesting, I would say watch it. I think it's a wonderfully personal, small-scale film that I think accomplishes what it wants to, and it's worth seeing as a result. So again, it's Obex 2025. I think it's worth seeing. Later.